Hey guys, I hope you like my fancy background over here. um, so I made a mistake in the video that you're about to see. I said that off the Y on the fuel system, there's a Y coming off of the fuel filter. And that one line is going to the rails and one line is going to the high pressure filter. And that was a mistake. The one line is looping back down, going to the high pressure fuel pump, not the filter. So I've run into a few challenges over the since October 2021 with this build. The build itself is physically done. Now I'm just trying to get it started. So I hope you like the video, and I will definitely post another update soon. This video will go over the fuel system, and in video number 22 I said check out the upcoming video about the new fuel system. This is the video. Take care, guys. Hey all, I know I haven't made a video in a while. On video number 22 I showed my fuel system, how I did it before, and on that video I put see next video of the fuel system to see how I actually ended up doing it. So it is different. So feed line's the same. Let's put a different fuel filter in there and a different fuel pressure regulator and some other fittings to make it work. I also had to make a custom bracket here to allow me to place the filter and the regulator, you know, how I need them to be for everything to fit and work. So I got a 4 Innovations F2i pressure regulator, and before that is a ID F750 fuel filter. It's kind of a cool little device. The filter itself comes off a lot like a oil filter, and I don't know if you can really see, you can kind of see, you can see right down in there. It twists off and you clean it and you put it back together. So from the filter, which is fed by the 8AN from the dual hanger in the back, I've got this little Y here. It Y's off. This one comes down and loops down to the high pressure filter. This one loops all the way to the back, comes to this fuel rail like so, comes out the other side of the fuel rail to this, which would obviously go to this part of the fuel rail, and the other side of the fuel rail, this is attached to it. Goes to my ethanol sensor, which is plugged in with an EFI fitting or an SAE fitting to the fuel pressure regulator. I've got the vacuum / boost source line going here, around back here, and up to the top of the manifold right there. That's basically it. So that's the difference. I really like the idea of the ID filter, and Corbin, who's going to be my tuner, said grab the F2i fuel pressure regulator. He likes it. So if Corbin likes it better than anything else and he's tuning the car, I thought let's do it how Corbin suggests. Obviously I got the return line coming at the bottom of the regulator and going to the factory line that's already in the car. So obviously my intercooler piping's finally done. I ran out of that wrap tape. Ran out of it, so that part's missing. And I of course relocated my blow-off valve to over here instead of under the passenger side bumper corner. I relocated the AC line so it wouldn't go over top of the cap of the coolant overflow. I think it's leaking because putting it in here on the condenser and making it fit was a ginormous pain in the butt. I'm probably going to have to, I'm going to have to address that down the road here. And I got the Motec in, obviously right here. Harness is as clean as I could get it, which looks pretty clean to me. I got it, you know, pretty hidden with the extra sensors. Got the coolant pressure sensor, got the fuel pressure sensor, The oil pressure sensor right down there. Underneath is the turbo inlet pressure on the inlet pipe of the turbo. And oh yeah, the EMAP, or the exhaust manifold absolute pressure, is right down here, and it's in that canister. You can see the canister there, and a copper tubing goes from there to the collector area on the header. And so that seems to work out pretty good. Unfortunately, a few Fridays ago I tried to start it, and it was just flooding the number 4 cylinder, and gasoline was coming out of the J pipe like it was trying to water some sick garden with gasoline. So sent the injectors to ID. I called them, and they said, oh, there's nothing wrong with those injectors. They're very confident in their work and in their product. I said, well, the number 4 injector was spraying fuel across the shop. By the way, guys, I'll have a video of that at the end of after this video. Right after, I'll put a short clip of me trying to start the car, and if you look to the left, you'll see a giant stream of gasoline fly across the shop. So the injectors are coming back tomorrow, which is Thursday. Today's Wednesday. They emailed me back and said, hey, there's nothing wrong with these injectors before we cleaned them, after we cleaned them. So it's something else. So Corbin's going to plug into my computer, which is going to be attached to the Motec, and then he's going to see whatever data he can see, and maybe we can figure out this issue here, and hopefully start the car up. It's been almost 3 years, and I'm really wanting to hear it run. It's been a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and planning, and custom pieces, and things like that. For example, one piece is this crash plate or skid plate, whatever you want to call it, that I had fabbed up for a large universal turbo. And right now I switched back to the Boost Lab 58XR turbo, which is their biggest offering as far as a bolt-on turbo for this engine. It's rated at 770 horsepower. I'll be happy if I get 625, 650 horsepower on my build here when I dyno tune it. Made a drain line for the AOS. I used all AN fittings and AN line, PTFE and PTFE fittings. Drain line comes down around here and goes all the way around, hooks to that vent line coming off of the oil sump. That's where a Perrin turbo restrictor would go if you run that. This is a dual ball bearing turbo. I hope it eliminates a lot of or some of the smoke. It's pretty cool. I'll show you guys underneath sometime. It's got a lot of cool things going on under there, a lot more than if it was a factory engine setup. So anyhow, thought I'd make a video for you guys. It's been almost a year. The last video I made was when my car was getting towed down to Colorado Springs. The fabricator guy down there told me about every 2 weeks, I'm starting your car next week, I'm starting your car next week, for 8 months, and never did one thing on the car. But he did order the materials for the header. So anyway, and he ordered the materials for the intercooler piping, but he didn't do anything. So now a fabricator local in Casper, Wyoming here did the work for me, and I would go to the shop here and there, and I tied off the harness on the Motec, and did some other work and contributed. I just can't weld. So my friend, my local guy, did the welding for me, did the J-pipe, welded on a SpinTech resonator, which I had for my Firebird years ago. I sold my Firebird and kept the SpinTech resonator. I want to see how that thing sounds on this little car. I think it's going to sound sweet. Anyway, right after this, there'll be a short pause, and then you'll see the video of me trying to start the car and the gasoline spraying across the shop. God bless you guys. I will post a video when this thing starts up. So before we watch the video, of the fuel injector spraying. Wanted to clarify. I wasn't actually trying to start the car. I had pulled the fuel rails, zip tied the injectors into the fuel rails so they wouldn't come out with the fuel pressure, turned them sideways, had metal pans underneath the fuel injectors in case gasoline came out. Well, gasoline definitely came out, not on number 1 or 2 or 3, but on number 4. And the pan did nothing because the gasoline sprayed across the whole shop. So that's what it was. I wasn't trying to start it. The injectors were not in the ports. So that will make more sense because the injector was able to spray the gasoline horizontally. Well, kind of like a rainbow. Anyway, here's that video.